afternoon, everyone. Tuesday, as usual, you see me, I see you. So 3 o'clock is our time to exchange our knowledge. And last week, we had someone come around, ask about, hey, can I hire my child to work in my business this summer? So we immediately dive into a question. What kind of business do you have? Do you have a C Corp, S Corp, LLC, sole proprietorship? What kind of business you have? So let's talk about hiring your child to work at your business this summer. And I will dive in right in. And before we talk, we always introduce our firm a little bit. And here is the slides and tell us that we are quite an old firm, right? We're 28 years in the making, and we have 10 different languages are speaking collectively by our professional staff, and we have about 12,000 clients worldwide. It's quite a size of a CPA firm, and we have 4 branches right now, but the number 5 is in the making, and now it is being renovated. If you go onto our website, you will see Houston, Texas branch. The building look, that is the look we're working on, and it is right in Houston, Galleria area. If you're familiar with Houston, pretty good location, and that's where we're gonna make our new branch. Community CPA will be there. And our firm, we have one thing to brag about. I am the CEO of the firm and also managing partner, and I have served at this National Taxpayer Advocacy Panel, which is the Federal Advisory Committee to provide advice to Internal Revenue Service, to IRS. I also am the author of 2 books, 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. You can tell it is sort of like, oh yeah, it's a time in the day. 8 a.m., start up a business. 10 a.m., growing your business. Then I'm working on the 2 p.m. that is to expand your business. Then 6 p.m. retiring from your business. So it is a life journey of the business. That's what I'm trying to capture, not just for me, myself, community CPA. It is really for our clients that we're working with, knowing which stage they're at. They may have a different need. For example, now I'm writing about the 2 p.m. I know I have a lot to say about borrowing money, and as a borrower, and when you deal with lender, so what are you looking at? Do we really look at the bank as a what? As a business? Do you think of the bank you deal with is actually a business? Because if you think that way, that might help you to do a better deal in your own borrowing, because a lot of time we don't think bank is a business, and we think it is two-way out there and we don't know how they do. They just magically can print money. That's not true. So with a lot of things in that book that I will present to you, and I hope to finish that book soon. That means Community CPA is successfully expanded, and we're still in the process of doing that, so I can't really claim I'm ready to finish that 2 p.m. I need to walk through the path before I can show you how I come along. So that's our books. And then we also have this no responsibility disclaimer, that is to teach each one of us to be responsible of what we teach and what we learn, and to make sure that you verify our knowledge and be a good steward for your own information and your operation. I hope you are successful because of our webinar that provides some guidance to you. Now, let's go considering hiring your child. So why are we considering hiring our child at this time? Of course, school is out, and you may think that your kids are at home playing video games day in, day out. That's not healthy. You want to put them into work, and you also may be busy during the summer, need some help, and you also want your kids to learn something from you. Guess what? Sometimes if you make kids work in your business, they will grow to hate it. And then when you really want them to help you, they're like, no, mom and dad, I don't want to be like you, and forgive me, and I have enough. So you want to really balance that and make sure, if you really want your business to be taken over by your child, by your children, and you may want to, move that with measure, knowing that how far you can push, what you want to push. I mean, getting your kids into a business is no different from getting someone to come into the business, work with you, and love the business. It's the same process. And you think it is easier. No, it is harder. So with that said, summertime, do you want your kids to be happy, or you want your kids to be miserable? Up to you. But what I'm trying to say is that if you're considering wanting them to do business with you and work in your business, you want to be very purposeful. And maybe your purpose is that you're just too busy and can't find anybody to work and you need your kids. Then just tell them, I'm desperate. I need your help. And can you come to help me? There's no need to sugarcoat it. Oh, I will pay you so you come to work. They don't care. They know that they can get all the money you have, so they don't care about you pay them or not. But you just want to tell them that you need their help. So, considering hiring your child. And this is related to your business. That's why in the very beginning of this webinar, I was telling you that someone said, oh, I want to hire my kids to work. Can I do that? Then immediately we're asking, oh, what kind of an entity type are you in? Because the one we're talking about has a huge benefit for your kid is this. It's the one that if you're running the business as a sole proprietorship, or if you run the business as a partnership owned by both spouses, both of you, or you're running a single member LLC that is treated as a sole proprietorship on your tax return, or you're running an LLC that is treated as a partnership owned by both spouses. You see, it is those kind of entities are the one would have some benefit. So let me mention that to you. So here, did you hear me saying S Corp, C Corp? I didn't, because S Corp, C Corp do not have this benefit. So let me show you what they are. Benefit for your child, largely right here. Because if you are sole proprietorship, if you are partnership, you actually can run your payroll a little differently. These entities can hire the owners under 18-year-old children as a full or part-time employees. And the children's wages will be exempted from the following federal taxes. The following: Social Security tax, Medicare tax, and FUTA tax. FUTA tax is a federal employment tax. That's a 940, right? So if you are a sole proprietor, if you are a partnership of both spouses, if you are a disregarded entity under 1040 Schedule C, and then, or if you are LLC operated by both spouses, and your children, when you hire them, they're under 18 years old, they don't have to pay Social Security, Medicare, and the FUTA tax. That is exempted. And in addition, your kids, when they make salary from you, it's almost like almost like those 1099, right? Because you don't pay Social Security, Medicare, isn't you kind of like paying a 1099? But that one, and because of you, they are as exempted, you still produce W-2, but it just didn't have taxes taken out. With that W-2, they can file taxes on their dependent employee children's tax return. That standard deduction is actually $14,600 in 2024. So anything under that amount, no taxes. Isn't that great? What I'm saying to the parents is that you can pay your child $14,600 in the summer, and you walk away from there because your kids don't pay taxes, and you also do not pay taxes because it will be deducted from your business. Okay? After that amount, of course, they will pay income tax. So let's look at the other side of the token. We said the babies, the kids, of course they are your babies. They're always your babies, even though they are 50 years old. So So they're your babies. These babies don't need to pay taxes because of they're under 18 and they are working for this type of, company, so they enjoy that exemption. And for your business though, ladies and gentlemen, that also brings benefit to your business because when you hiring your children and you get the business tax deduction from employees' wages, right? So you deduct their wages and the deduction reduces your income tax bill. And your self-employment tax bill also will be deducted because if you take that money out of your Schedule C, then reduces your profit. You also don't pay self-employment tax for yourself. So that is a business side of the deduction that's beneficial for you. Of course, we want to say that there's a different rules for corporation, right? There are different rules for corporation. If you operate as a C Corp or S Corp, your children's wages are subject to Social Security, Medicare, future tax just like everybody else. So, with that said, you can deduct your children's wages and plus those taxes on your corporate tax return, but you don't enjoy that exemption that your children has. So when you produce the W-2 for your children, in the C Corp S Corporation situation, it has the Social Security, Medicare, the taxes on the side. They don't have that on the side if you are a partnership of both spouse, and if you are LLC of both spouse, or if you are a sole proprietorship or disregarded entity, right? And you can deduct your children's wages as business expense both ways. For a corporation and for your disregarded entity, that is the same thing. So, of course, you can deduct the wages you pay to the children together with the Social Security, Medicare, but your children do not enjoy that exemption. Of course, your children also can shelter the wages from federal income tax for $14,600 in 2024. Makes sense, right? Makes sense. These are standard deductions for 2024. Of course, you say, oh, after all I am doing is to just save a little bit of exemption there. No, there's more. When you put your children in W-2 and you're also entitled to the retirement saving that your children could have, even though they are young. So we mentioned here traditional IRA, and you understand what that is. Roth IRA, you know what that is. You can start that saving, start to save taxes. Let's say they made, maybe 20,000 W-2 under the exempted status. So you got 20,000 on the box 1 and 20,000 on the box 3 and 5, but no taxes paid, right? So 14,000 went away from standard deduction, then you have $6,000 left. If you don't do anything, 6,000 will pay taxes. But if you do something, you bought a traditional IRA for your children, then your children will walk away from not paying any taxes. So that is where the retirement comes in. Of course, as soon as you think of retirement, you're like, the kids are so small, I don't bother with their retirement. But remember, there is always, there's an old Chinese saying goes, one drop of water, giving it time, it can come through a big thick stone. So the stone can be carved by a drop of water. So if you start saving money, just $6,000 a year for the kids, and by the time they reach 50, they will be very wealthy on their own because of all these years accumulation the parents has done for them. So don't overlooking for accumulation, because we have, as a human, we have a way to waste money. If you have money sitting there, a lot of us will spend it somehow. But after you spend it, you don't even know where you spend it. But imagine if you just carve that out for the kids and pay to their retirement and to see how that would impact their life, right? When they go to universities and if they just short on money, they can use that. Of course, you can also put into university funds for them, 529, to enjoy the state side of tax saving, correct? So this is just a slide for traditional IRA and Roth IRA. So here is the, considerations related to pushing money away for the children. Hire your child can be a tax smart idea, right? And however, your child wages must be reasonable for the work they perform. You don't want to have a full-time staff here working for $40,000 a year, then your child is working for a summer and making $80,000. That would not be called reasonable. You want that to be reasonable. Be sure to maintain the same records as you would for other employees to substantiate the hours worked and the duty performed by your child. And these include timesheet, job description, W-2 forms, all of that. And contact us, if you have any questions. This is where we say that, yes, your child can work for you, and your business definitely can deduct those expenses. But on your child's side, whether he will be exempted from Social Security, Medicare or not, that is something depends on what kind of business is issuing them the W-2. Make sense? All right. I know a lot of knowledges are so interrelated. I mention one thing and you think of another thing. Maybe after listening to this, you got more questions than my answers. And if that is the case, come to our website. Our website is www.communitycpa.com. So if you could just go online, and in our website there is a tab called appointment. If you click that appointment, you will come to this page. So desire to know more, you can select one of the partners listed here to ask your question. You see where we all have our specialties, so you want to choose the right partner to discuss that with. We also have a 30 minutes, we call that exploration session with each partner other than me and Dr. Hao. And these partners have that 30 minutes with you, and you can explore what we can do for you instead of just thinking, well, I come in to pay money and I get the answer. You can obviously you can explore, and for meeting with me, you click me and you will see my calendar, and you'll be able to select the time you wanted right online. Then I will, because we show what availability is, so if I'm available, you will see the time. If I'm not available, then you will just choose a day that works for you. With that said, I do want to show you our last slides related to today's talk. We translate whatever I talk on Tuesday is translated into Chinese and by another staff of ours to be aired out in Chinese. And we also air that out again in Spanish on Friday. So you'll find Chinese, Spanish, that to the same seminars, the same webinars we do. Then of course on Saturdays I have a 1 hour long webinar that I dive in things a lot deeper. But today I think I hand over to you a understanding of hiring your child to work in your business. Number one, look at what type of business you are running, the entity type. Number two, determine whether your child has exemption or not. Number three, to determine the W-2 amount to be reasonable. Number four, when your child filed the tax return because he worked and you want to file that correctly as a dependent or as an independent person to file their tax return, that is the tax preparer can actually determine that for you when you come to that time. So I will see you again on Saturday. Thank you for joining me at this time. Appreciate it.